Today I'll be doing the reflection and resolution tag because that's still relevant in March, but I want to keep on going because that's what's on my list. So the first question is, what was your standout writer moment or memory in 2021? And that would be me finally reading something by Walt Whitman. I kept hearing how great of a writer he was and how he's just the bee's knees in the writer community. So I actually read something by him and I really liked it. I think it was the Song of Myself, and we had to read it for my American literature class. It was really good. We had a really good discussion about it, the different things, and the how it's reflecting on our lives today and society today. It was really, I kind of saw what everyone was talking about, and I probably have to read more of his stuff to really get the full scope of it. But for right now, poem, which was that one poem was really good. So that was my one moment. Number two is, name one way you surpassed your own expectations. And that will be back in school again, me writing my very first short story. I've never written a short story before until I got into school. I've written things that started out as a short story, but really started to get to about 30,000 words because I'm naturally a novelist. I get carried away with descriptions and dialogue and all that stuff like that. So trying to condense everything I wanted to say into less than 1,000 words was really hard for me, like extremely hard. And I was given a lot of pointers, a lot of help. It was like a little workshop that we all had to do, and it turned out really well. Like, I was really proud of myself. I got a lot of good feedback from my classmates, from my teacher, just pulling back on a lot of description and try to focus on the emotion of the scene and try to center myself on what was happening within that particular moment really helped me overall as far as just how I write in general. So that was really good. Number three is, name something new you've experimented with this year. And I guess 2021. For 1 week, I got up at 5 a.m. And it was really good. It was really good for a while because I was able to get a lot of stuff done. Right before my household woke up, I was really able to knock out a lot of works, as far as words for my blog or words for my homework for the day, and I would just be able to rest or like take care of the things I need to do around the house and be with my babies, anything like that. That was really good. I think what happened was I couldn't keep up with it. Like, I couldn't get past the crash of it all, because if I woke up that early and then I wasn't able to recover, either at going to sleep early at night, being woken up through the night, or I wasn't able to take a nap in between that, my body was naturally just trying to keep up. So I think if I can work out my overnight life a little bit better, especially since one of my sons right now is not sleeping consistently through the night. I don't know if he's going through a growth spurt or I have to get him on a new feeding regimen. Right now, things are not consistently at nighttime for me to go to sleep around, like, say 9 or 10 at night, and then me wake up at 5 and start my day. That's never going to work out if I can't sleep through the night or have quiet enough to sleep. So, but it was a good, for that, I want to say 4 or 5 days that I was able to get up at 5. I got a lot of stuff done. So I was happy about that. And I want to see if I could be more consistent with that. So, number 4, is there anything you Is there anything you weren't proud of this year that you like to improve upon? Being consistent. I think that's the name of the game right now. Maybe even, I don't know if it's the name of the game in 2022 or if it's always been the name of the game, but I see now that consistency is my main problem. Just me, and it's not always it's not always my doing. I am a mother of triplets. All of my triplets have special needs, including my one son who has end-stage kidney disease. During a quarantine, a worldwide pandemic, as I'm trying to go to school full time at 36. That and write a book. Yeah, write a book. Start a business around me as an author, writing a book, um, starting a YouTube channel as a full-time mom and full-time student and full-time YouTuber, full-time author. This, so I can't always be as consistent as I want to be. And I had to realize that I was dealing with burnout, and I thought it was from one direction. Oh, no, no, no. It was from multiple directions, and I didn't realize that at first. Because I was like, okay, I'm getting burnt out because of my children. You know, with all of them being autistic, I had to meet all of their needs, physical, verbal, mental, just trying to keep up with what they needed and how they needed it. And they all have different needs in different areas. So I was feeling burnt out about that, and I was like, okay, if I can just sleep more, I can be, up for them. But then my sleep will be robbed by me getting story ideas at nighttime. As soon as I sat down or lay down and just let my mind settle, story ideas. Now I have to just kind of like get up, write them down real quick, whether they led to anything or not, or I will be thinking about the story I just wrote, and I have to get up, write, make sure that, I will get a spark of inspiration for a scene that I was working on before that just didn't go right. So I had to get up, do that, and school, make sure I read that chapter, make sure I did that thing, social media, making sure that I was consistent, posting at the time where I would get the most views and most likes and the hashtags, and trying to learn the business. I think I was just getting burnt out. And when I felt that I was fixing one area, another area would just rob me of the energy I was putting towards over there. So, not to say that I'm making excuses, but I had to figure out that one, I probably need a team. Like, most likely, I need a team that I can trust, which is crazy. A team that will just do, not, they can give me ideas, they can be there and help me along the way, but I just need somebody to just like, okay, I got you, and stay consistent with, I got you. Don't worry about it, go over there, take a nap, I got you, and I won't have to worry. So that's probably one. I need a team. Two, I need to kind of let myself focus on one thing, and try to determine that this year is going to be YouTube, instead of trying to spread myself out through all social media platforms and trying to learn all the tricks and trades of that. I'm just going to stop, focus on one, and see what happens. So that's what I'm trying to do to be more consistent on YouTube in particular. Number 5 is, what's the biggest struggle you've had to overcome this year, and what advice would you give writers in the same position? My biggest struggle was imposter syndrome. Like, just me going back to the whole Walt Whitman thing that I answered the question. Before that, I didn't read Walt Whitman. I didn't read anything by I read one thing about Virginia Woolf. Uh, what's the other ladies? The Bronte sisters. Um, whoever wrote Jane Eyre, I forgot her name. Different people. I didn't read them, and now I'm starting to. Just because I have a bit assigned to me as far as my literature class, because my major is English. I have two double majors. I have a double major, English and psychology, and I have a minor in creative writing, which is basically English. But it might be a minor. I might add another minor onto that. I don't know yet. But right now, it's being assigned to me. It's not me. I felt before that I was kind of like wasting my time because that wasn't a genre that I wrote in. The genre that I usually write in is fantasy, YA fantasy, and science fiction. So I will primarily focus on that. But I'm starting to see now that I have to kind of get into the craft of that overall writing field genre, scholarly writing. And school helped me do that. Writing the thesis, developing ideas, writing consistently, being on a deadline, being on a schedule, putting things down little by little. I think that's been helping me feel like I'm a writer. And I would suggest that if you're feeling imposter syndrome as far as you're not feeling like a writer, school is the one way to do that. Because that's the way it helped me, just to kind of help me get into that mindset that I have to write consistently. I have to be on a deadline. I have to be disciplined. And for some writers, that's the name of the game. Just consistency and discipline. So, number 6, what is the most important lesson you learned this year? I guess 2021, since reflection. To protect my energy. That is the number one lesson I learned last year because, quarantine. Being quarantined with 3 toddlers who have special needs while trying to do everything else I was trying to do, my energy was shot to hell. I wasn't feeling good. I was always getting sick, and thank goodness that it never led to COVID. But I was always worrying if it was going to lead to COVID, if it was going to affect my babies, affect my husband, because he's an essential worker. So he had to go out. I had to constantly take my youngest to the doctor's office, just to make sure that he got his checkups for his kidney disease. And it was nerve-wracking. It was absolutely nerve-wracking just hearing the news and watching things happen and unfold the way they were. I think I just really had to protect myself. Protect myself from the things that I couldn't control, the things that I couldn't do, the supplies I couldn't get. And the one thing, I don't know if it's all parents of autistic kids or special needs kids go through. My kids like a certain thing, a certain way. So I go to the store, and the particular juice that they love, that they'll only drink, the shelves are bare of it, and I'll have to drive to 5 different stores and just deal with that, deal with the price hike and the inflation and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, it got to the point where we had to budget different things. I'm like, we're spending $90 on juice, because that's what the store had, that's what we had to buy, that's what they would drink, and they wouldn't drink anything else. And I would love to be that mom. I'm like, I'm going to give them water. I do give them water, but when they want a particular juice, and I have to hide their vitamins in the juice. So that's my little trick. But the one thing, if I couldn't get it, my energy driving those different places, going into those different stores, and kind of being disappointed at each time. It's a lot. Dealing with the people and, trying to protect myself, trying to be as safe as possible. It's a lot. So, not being able to get the help from the people that I were getting help from, and trying to save my money and spending on the money that I had to spend stuff on, and not being able to help as many people as I used to, who probably were, they were relying on me before, but now I kind of got to buckle down and spend $90 on juice. I can't give you $90 as a friend of mine. So I think that really taxed me, because I had to say no a lot more than I was used to. But it was a good thing, because I guess it allowed people just to kind of get their own stuff together, so to speak, and go from there. We all had to buckle down. We all were kind of in a struggle, and that's the one thing we all were united on at that point. What is, I think we're on number 7. Crap. Do you like to set resolutions for yourself? How do you usually set goals throughout the year? Yes. Every year, January 1st, I say I want to lose 15 pounds. And the crazy thing is, I do. Throughout the whole year, I do consistently lose 15 pounds. I think all the way up until May, when barbecue season started. As soon as I smell barbecue and steak or chicken, or even like a sexy hot dog on the grill, I think I forget who I am. I become some type of crazy barbecue visiting. You would just see me at your barbecue. You'd be like, who is this chick? Like, don't worry about me. And I will hand my plate over. You wouldn't know what's happening. I will snatch a chicken off the grill. I would do it. I would just bear claw it. The first thing is coming into my head is like Yogi Bear and he's salting the picnic baskets. I will do it. I will be that person that will just show up at your barbecue randomly. And that's how I gained 15 pounds back and more. So if I can be consistent with moving past the barbecues, I think I'll be good. I think I'll be able to keep those 15 pounds off. I don't know. I am not. I don't think I can. That's the bad part. I'm glad that I know it. That I can be honest about it. I'm honest. I can't do it. I can't do it. No. I'll steal your food. The next one is 8. And what projects are you looking forward to working on? I guess this year, 2022. I am trying to write a children's book, and it's going to be my first stab at middle grade. I honestly don't like middle grade, only because the way I write is I kind of get deep into detail and deep into a lot of adult situations. So I usually like to stay towards YA, adult, science fiction, literary fiction, that type of thing. But I want to try with middle grade. I'm going to try to get that, because it's a certain language that you got to get, that kiddie funness. I'm going to try my hardest to actually write that and put that out there and see what happens. Number 9 is, what is your biggest writer goal resolution? That would be to get maybe 100 subscribers on YouTube. That would be good. That would be something I'm looking forward to, because the first 100 is everything. I know people say like the first 1,000, but for me to go, I've been on here for years now. I think since 2018, and I've put out like 3 videos, maybe 4. That's maybe the 5th one. To get that many subscribers means that I was consistent enough to put myself out there to get that many subscribers. So I think that that's gonna be my big thing. Now I'm gonna celebrate like crazy. And you probably won't see me again for another 3 years. You probably won't see me again for another 3 years, and I apologize in advance. Number 10. What steps do you plan to take to achieve your resolutions or goal this year? Be more active on YouTube, more active on social media. Get more sleep, maybe. I'm gonna try to get more sleep. 11. Name something new that you would like to try this year, even if it scares you. So I published 3 poetry books, and I'm not a spoken word type person. I'm not that type of person. I don't even know. I'm not that. Just like speaking into the microphone, like la la la. You know, my sister, my brother, la 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 la. The earth, the moon. I'm not that. So I'm gonna try to be that. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. That's one thing. If I can just speak, I guess I'm gonna have to first memorize some of my poems to be like, this. I want to try to do that and see what happens, because even though I'm a poet, I've never been on stage to read my poetry. I think past 14. 14 is when I really started to get self-conscious. So I really got to, if I'm going to be, writing books, I'm going to have to read it in front of people. And I think me putting out my poetry books was that first step to get my words out there and get them out of my closet, out of the drawers, out into the world. But I don't think that was enough. I think I actually have to read my poetry in front of people. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Even if I have to come over here and read it for you guys, I'm going to try. If not, then I'll just go into like some smoky club with like a little hat. Read it there. Number 12. How can I make this the best writing year ever? I think if I can get published, finally get my book published, finally get an agent to be gung-ho about it enough, and me be, gung-ho about myself, my writing skills, my abilities, and them, that would be a great writing year for me. That would be just everything. If not, then going back to finishing that middle grade novel that I'm working on, or getting the subscribers. Yeah, those 3 things will be good enough for me to say that I had a great year. So that is all for the writing tags. So that is all for this writer tag. Stay tuned for the next one.